this crazy life we live, we all need someone to hold, a friend to light the way.
Welcome back to the Guardian Angle podcast, where we embark on a journey of exploration and enlightenment. Introducing our host, Kallima T. Jordan, cognitive behavioral psychologist and self-relationship specialist and coach. Join us in this season in unraveling the mysteries and wonders that surround our everyday existence. Get ready for an engaging conversation that transcends the ordinary as we try to understand and resonate the extraordinary facets of our lives. Again, welcome to the Guardian Angle podcast. Now let's get into it. Kallima, the mic is yours.
Up when I'm feeling down with you.
I'm wishing everyone wholeness today. This is Dr. Kallima T. Jordan, and I'm here to say today that I want to try to dig into maybe a few of the stories that may be written in all of the different books, the Quran, the Bible, and the Torah. And I'm speaking on these things because I wanted to get it off my chest, because I don't really think a lot of folks resonate with the messages that the people were writing. And this is just a really short message, When we start talking about, Moses and Isaac and Jacob and these people, okay, you must understand that in Genesis it says, let us create man, quote unquote, in our image. When it speaks upon our image, who is our? And then you get into these descendants that have no idea that they are connected to a bloodline that would have them to do certain things because of certain actions that would be taken. Please note that all things run in a storyline. When I was growing up, I was young once, like most people. I think we're all young once. We don't got good common sense when we're young. We don't hear a thing. People constantly say, listen, listen, listen. But you can listen all day. That doesn't mean you heard the message. This is why people speak in parables. Now, I'm just going to drop some knowledge on y'all real quick. If there were three that came and said, we're going to do this thing, for what purpose would they do it? If you look at it from a negative view, you say, well, they came and they made us slaves. They wanted us to work for them. They wanted us to do this. They took from us. They stole from us. They unalived us. Why for should I worship a God like that? Or for what purpose would I want to honor a God like that? I think these words mess people up too, because there is a difference between paying honor to someone and paying homage to someone. See what I'm saying? But if we start looking at Moses, well, Moses, he had a whole deal he had to go do. When people tell you a story, they tell it to you from their own personal perspective. They don't tell it to you based necessarily on what happened. This is why we always have three sides to a story. My side, what I saw, what I heard, what I felt. Your side, what you thought, what you saw, what you heard. And what really happened was the compilation of the two because of what all happened and what we got into. So when we look at things in this way, you say, okay, well, I had told a story on TikTok about 2 Kings, and I had talked about Jezebel and Ahab and what Jezebel did to Elijah, okay, and what Elijah did back unto her because of his trust in the true God that is here with us now today. Things just don't happen by what you say, quote unquote, coincidence. But even when you look at that word coincidence, it's like, okay, you had a bunch of things coinciding with each other so that, boom, you could have this outcome. This is why human thinking is slightly flawed. If we look at these stories that people are telling us, well, look at Jonah. Jonah got swallowed by the whale. Well, what is a whale? A whale is not the thing that we see floating in the ocean. That's just one type of whale. But when we look at the sin of avarice, that is a whale. That thing will swallow your ass up whole, and you be sitting up trying to figure out, how am I going to get out of here? I don't think I like this. I don't want this. I feel like I'm eaten up by this. When Jonah decided that he was going to say enough is enough, he got out of that. What does that mean? It said in the story about Jonah that the big fish, okay, we said big fish because it says it in the King James Testament. I like that one. And he spat him out of his mouth and he landed on the shores. And he didn't know where he was. All he knew is that he didn't have anything. He didn't have any clothes. He didn't have any money. He didn't have a camel. He didn't have any friends. He had nothing. And then as he started walking, he said, oh, please, I am so thirsty. I am so hot. Can you please help me? Well, what did Jonah do? What happened to Jonah? Jonah actually sat down against a tree that wasn't quite alive, and the Father made that tree alive, and the leaves gave him water and sustenance. But instead of him being grateful and thankful about all of those things, Jonah cursed it, and the next thing you know, he was on his own because he felt that he had a mission to go back to Nineveh and say, look, you people are wrong, you need to do this, you need to do that, and until you do these things, you will not be gifted by the one true Creator. And they looked at him and they said, oh my, he was swallowed by the big fish. And so he is more than welcome and honored here because this is who we are. This is who we celebrate. When we start talking about these different stories, they are all collections of things that have happened to people to try to tell you that there is more than one God, quote unquote, down here. Okay, you have to see it. I look at gods with little g's. I know who the Father in our heavens are. And believe me, it's not a satellite. And I hate that word, so I'm going to take that out. Trust me, it's not a satellite. It's not something that looks like a piece of cigar in the sky. It's not none of that. They see us. They love us. They know us. It sounds crazy, but it really isn't. If you close your eyes and you see yourself, then you're good. But if you close your eyes and you see all this negativity surrounding you, because you can see it, you gotta get out of that. Life is too short to waste on things that make no sense. It is time for people to come together as a collective and to use the good common sense that has been given to us by so many people. I mean, you have obviously the forefathers of this nation, and I'm grateful to them. You also have the quote unquote Native American tribes and the indigenous tribes who celebrate to try to bring wholeness and peace to the land. You have money, and money is not an evil. Money is the thing that you use to barter and trade with if you have nothing else. You must understand, I scratched that word, you must resonate with the fact that we are all one. We operate on different frequencies. And if this is the case in which I am seeing, frequencies are the universal key. It is the universal song. You cannot have beauty without sadness. You cannot have life without death. You cannot have things in ways that make sense. But how you perceive these different ideas, it got you held up and caught up in a freaking gopher hole. Just because somebody said, go do this and go do that and it's going to be and it's going to be, that may not be the path for you. Everybody's path should be walking to the left sometime, walking to the right sometime. How else will you learn a thing? When we are little children, what do? We learn how to stand up. Most of us grabbed onto a side of a table, held on to the side of a person's leg, and stood up. And the next step is to actually start to take steps. You don't take the steps alone. And once you feel most comfortable taking those steps, that's when you start to walk. See, it's all there. You have to look at it from a shifted and differential perspective. All things can be had, but are all things for you? Avarice is a serious sin. It is one of the ones they never talk about. They always talk about the 7 deadly ones. Well, guess what? This is a killer. Because avarice is not the type of energy that one wishes to carry, because it carries a lot of negativity with it, conceit, lies, magic, all kinds of things that will cause you to dig out your own chakra root and then destroy everything else that could grow from the beautiful seed, which is you. But you have to see yourself as being worthy. And I'm telling you, like that nice lady always say on the plane, I am telling you. Listen, if you trust this, because the only real words of the Bible that I actually dig into is John 14 and 15. Some of the most beautiful words I have ever heard. And I'm not much for reading different types of religious books, because there's a whole purpose around that. And if you guys want me to speak about it, I will. But see yourself as a beautiful seed, and see the seed as being healthy, meaning all the trauma that you went through and all the negativity that you had to deal with and endure. Help be a stronger seed. Get rid of the bruises. They fall away. And then next thing you know, boom, you have busted into a beautiful little plant, a seedling. And when your seedling grows and it is tended to, because you have good creators, I'm telling you, I know it for myself. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't the truth. And so they wish to see you grow into better things. Grow into who you wish to be. Not everybody is the same, and everybody's gifts are different. So I'm going to tell you, if you really want to have gifts in your life, stop saying, quote unquote, bless you, blessings. Stop saying those words. Those words, if you look at them carefully, be less. I'm not being less than anything. Because the word in John 14:15 says, if I am in you, okay, and this is the Christ. And we ain't talking about Jesus, because Jesus is a whole nother story. We're talking about the Christ consciousness. We are talking about ancestor awakening. Okay, they call it Christ consciousness, but it's ancestor awakening. When you feel your ancestors awakening in you, you are with them. They are with you. And they help you to reach a new day. But that's all I have to really say. I just wanted to share that message because it was on my heart and it has laid in my heart for some time. And I really wanted to share this with you because you deserve to know you are somebody. You are loved. You are cared for. You are nurtured if you wish to be. No one can do anything without your permission. And in saying that, I'm sending you guys so much light, love, peace.